Hey everybody, I'm Jackie and I will be walking you through the steps of Google Calendar and Gmail for Google Level 1 certification. What I like to do is I like to start here at the Google homepage before I get started. I'll just click right here to sign in. And I'm going to make sure that I sign in with my DOE Enterprise Google account, which is already saved here, yourschools.nyc.gov. Okay, so it'll bring me to this, the DOE landing page. And what I'll do is I'll put in the first part of my email, which is just the J Patanio without the ending extension, and my password. Oops, put that in. Okay. And then it should bring me to my Google account. So I'm not sure what's happening, but nonetheless, I should be logged in. There we go. So I clicked on my waffle, which is always good practice. So no matter where you are in Google, you should always look for the waffle that is in the top right corner, and that will help you navigate through any of the apps that you need to work within. So right now we are in Calendar. That's what I clicked on, and this is where you will land. So what's interesting about Calendar is that when your account was created for you, this calendar right here was also automatically created for you. So you'll see that I have a whole host of other calendars here. These are ones that I've created or ones that are part of my Google Classroom, because Google Classroom, when you make an account in there, when you make a classroom, it automatically creates a calendar right in here. So that's part of the process of how everything intertwines and speaks to each other. So again, this calendar was automatically created for you. So at this point, if you want to make sure that you are following me and you're at calendar.google.com, just have a look at your own calendar over here. The next thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you shut off other calendars. So right here, I'll know that my calendar is on because it is filled in and it has a check next to it. So I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to turn this one off. Let's see if I have any others. Okay. And then I have another one down here, which was blocked. Okay. So I have it set so that this is the only calendar that I am presently viewing. I know that I'm viewing it in month view because I see the whole entire month across. And I also know because if I come up here, month is toggled on. I could change this at any point in time just by going over to this and changing it to week view. It all depends on the view that you want to look at. And again, on the test, they might ask about these type of things, but just pretty much good practice on how you like to look at your calendar. I prefer month view. Okay? And if you want to go from month to month, you would come up here and this will bring you to previous month and to the next month. Right? So just to add another note to this, you can shut off your weekends. Okay, that's something else I usually have off so that I can only see my Monday to Friday events, especially when it's in reference to school. So I'm going to come down here, and now we're going to look at settings. So to look at the settings of a calendar, we're going to work within our own personal calendar. We have to take our mouse, just like I'm doing right now. I'm not clicking, I'm just hovering, and I see my 3 dots. So I'll tap on that. And before I go into settings and sharing, just want to draw your attention to the different colors. You can modify what color your calendar is. So again, it's about the aesthetics and how you want to view your calendar. Maybe when thinking about school calendars, maybe by class, by grade, you might have them set by color. That is where you would come in here and make those modifications. So to change the settings and sharing, I click on this. And now these are the calendar settings for just this calendar. I can change the name of my calendar. I might put my personal calendar. And as I scroll down, so I can scroll down right here, or I can click over here on the left-hand side and it will move it down as well. So I was in calendar settings to start, where I have to give it a description. Again, if you're using this for a shared calendar, the description might say this is a shared calendar for assessment dates or marking periods. You might put that in the description. So then I come to access permissions. It is defaulted to make available for anybody on NYC DOE, which means that when people are going to make an event and they want to invite you, they'll be able to see the event details, whether or not they can schedule a meeting with you. And then show calendar info in Google Apps. You can leave this on as well. Okay. Then the last part of settings that we have is the invite people. So you can add people on invite. You can add people to your calendar. So this is mine. Again, this is my personal calendar. But at any point in time, if I want to add somebody to this so that they can be, let's say, a co-editor or whatever it is to my specific calendar, I can add them right here. So let's see who comes up. I will add in Brandon, one of my coworkers. So what I can do is I put Brandon's name in, and then I can come down here to the level of permissions. So it starts with the most restrictive down to the least restrictive. So he can only see free and busy, see all event details, which means he'd just be able to see it, manage, make changes to the events. So that would be if we were in a shared calendar together. And then the next one is make changes and manage sharing. So that would mean that they had this access that I am in right now, and able to invite other people to it. So these are just the different levels that you can change your calendar to. Most frequent would be just see all event details, or if you're doing a shared calendar where you want others to add, you can make changes to the events. I'll leave it as this, and then I send it. So what'll happen is Brandon will get a notification in his email. He'll click on it, and he will then have this calendar living on his calendar area as well, which I'll bring you back to. If I don't want him on here anymore, I could simply unshare the calendar by clicking the X. And that is it. So I'm going to take us out of settings. Okay. And like I mentioned to you before, if I add Brandon, it will come up on here, on his calendars. He'll have it over here if I share him on it. Now we're going to head on over to actually creating an event and some of the items that we can add to that event. So I'm going to head on over to the 8th. So what I just did was I tapped once inside of the box, and I get this kind of quick event creation. So I can create an event this way, where I tapped in the box. I could also create an event by coming up here and clicking create. Okay? And it'll automatically default to today's date. Or I can go anywhere in any of the boxes and I could double tap. So I'm going to stick with the 8th. I'm going to double tap inside of this box, and I'm going to get an expanded edit view of an event. Okay. And again, this is just personally what I like to do. So I'm going to show you this way, but this is one of the many ways you can do it. We're going to call this office hours. Okay. Office hours. And it's defaulted to just one day and all day. I'm going to uncheck that, and I can change the time. Let's say from 9:30 to 10:30. You can make it as long or as short as you like. And then as we move down, we go into the event details. So I can add my conferencing right here, which I'm going to do. And what it does is when you get to the event card, which I'll show you once we click save, you'll see that your participants will just be able to go onto their calendar and they will have the Meet link right there. So it'll be living on their calendar without them having to search for this link, which is right here. I don't have to add a location because it'll be online. And then we have notifications. So what this does is this, once you're signed in or somebody is signed in, if you have a notification set to this event, 10 minutes before the event, they're going to get something that pops up on their screen, no matter where they are, saying you have a meeting in 10 minutes. Okay? You can also modify this to be 20 minutes. You could change it to 5 minutes. You can also change it to hours, days, and weeks. But again, these are the notifications that will pop up on screen when a person is logged into the account that was invited. You can also add a notification. So you can have 2 notifications if you want to keep reminding people. And you can also change the notification to an email. What that does is instead of getting the pop-up on your screen, an email will be sent to the person however long before. So again, minutes, hours, days, or weeks, alerting them to the event, so 10 minutes before, okay? And again, just like I did with the pulling back of the permissions for the calendar, I could simply click the X and remove the notification. So as I move down, you'll see that this is the calendar I was working from. And just to be sure that we're on the right calendar, you'll click on this. And if by any chance you were in the wrong calendar, you could make a change and just click on the calendar that you want. But it is important to see that this is here and it is correct. And as I move down, you have the ability to add a description. This will be informal. Please add your questions to the attached document. Okay. So what we'll do in here is we could add an attachment to this. So really good that it incorporates things that are inside of Drive. So you're able to give them a doc where they can pre-populate questions for you when they're coming in to into the meeting, or it could be a shared agenda. Let's say if you want folks to put their ideas onto the agenda, whatever it is. You have the ability to add a document to this in the spirit of keeping everything in one spot. You'll have the document, you'll have the link, and all the jazz will be on the event card. All right. So once we have this set and everything looks good, you could start inviting people right here. So if I want to invite, I'm going to invite myself, which is outside of the domain. This is a different account. And then I will invite somebody inside of the schools at mit.gov. Okay. So these are the people that I'm going to invite into my events. You'll see that this person is outside of the domain, and then it shows you what the guest permissions are. Can they invite others? Can they see the guest list? You might uncheck some of these. That's up to you. I'm going to click save, and it's going to ask me about sending to the guests. This is my send. And since this is somebody outside of my domain, I have to say, yes, I'm allowing to invite them. Okay. So now you see, this is my office hours, is right here. This is the event that I just created. If I tap on it, this is the event card I was talking about. So everything lives right here. It tells you that Wednesday is the date. Here's the time. Here's the join. So you can click right on this, or we can hover over and we can copy it. And then we see the 3 guests who were invited. We have the organizer, which is me. It has the green check because I'm obviously a yes. And then we're still waiting on the other folks. Here is the attachment that I put that I can click on, and it will open up in a separate tab. Same thing will be true for the other folks that are coming to your meeting. So just so you know, right here, this is a filled in circle. Right? So this means I'm going to the event. The people who I've invited will see this, which is an unfilled circle. So give me a minute and I'm going to bring you over to my calendar that's on the other account so I could show you what it looks like. Okay. This right here, this is my other account. This was me being invited. And like I said, I was invited to it. It automatically shows up on my calendar, but I have not replied to it yet. And I know that because it is an unfilled in circle. So this right here, this is me. I created the event. I have a filled in circle. This is me over here who was invited to it. I have an unfilled circle. So what I can do now as one of the invitees, I have the decision to say yes, no, maybe. And if I click yes, the circle will be filled in. If I say no, it will be grayed out. And if I say maybe, it shows up with 3 lines through it, just like this. So I'm going to head over to my account where I created it. And what I will be able to see as the person who created the event, I'll see that the other Jackie has a question mark next to her name. All right. So just some visual ways to see who is attending your event. And if you need to make modifications to it, up here you see the pencil. You click on that, and this will bring you back into your event. So whenever, it's time to actually get into that meeting, what you would do is come over here and click this. All right. Some of the other components that we have here, when you're in Calendar, always good to look up at the support button. So if you need help, you would just click on the help icon and you could start searching for different categories. So the ones that come up most will pop up here, which is super, super helpful. You could browse all articles. So that'll bring us to the Help Center, which many of your other sessions will talk about. So this is the Help Center directly for a calendar. And you could also visit the Help Forum. But it's important to know that this is here and accessible for everyone. And then last is the settings menu. This is where if you wanted to print or change the visible settings of your calendar would live. So again, that's not on the test to my understanding, but just good to know. But definitely make sure that you're looking for the support button over here. All right. That is it for calendar. I'm going to take us over to Gmail with a separate video.